Yo, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to maybe the first live show Ben and I have done together on this channel in like 2 years at this point. But it's Super Bowl 60. He hit me up yesterday or the day before. Said, yeah, you want to do a quick Super Bowl show before we segue over onto the DFS side where we've got multiple hours of shows going into Super Bowl 60. We're doing these shows early today, though, because you're not going to get a bunch of inactive reports. The lines have been out for weeks now, like what, 2 weeks, I think, for a lot of these props, at the very least 10 days across the board. Not just the standard ones, but all of these ridiculous ones on top of that as well. And you guys got stuff to do, I'm sure. If you don't, I'm sorry to hear that, but that's okay. You're going to get it early and have an opportunity to make some decisions here. These are your last minute NFL bets and parlays for Super Bowl 60, Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots. What's up, brother?
Yeah, why not? Like I said, there's so many boosts and so many promos and so many bets already on tails. I wanted to talk through them. I've been organizing my card. We're going to be talking DFS over on Stokastic a little later today, but we wanted to do this before people. I don't know about you. You got to travel. People are getting food, blah, blah, blah. It's a little busy day. It's kind of like Thanksgiving and that. So I wanted to just knock this out. And I'm excited. I think at some point, and maybe you guys feel the same way in chat, it's like, all right, let's just, I have thought about the game and looked at this, just start the game. You get a little fatigued. And now I'm like, I know what I want to do. My bets are in. I want to start this game. I want to see what actually happens on the field.
Yeah, me too. It's cold as shit here too, yesterday.
Oh my God.
I
went to get breakfast. Dangerously cold.
Yeah, it's brutal. So everyone's coming here tonight. I went out, got a little bit of beer, and we'll stay here and watch the game. I'll tell you what, though, man, and we can dive straight into this. Of course, yeah, you guys want to hit on any bets, you want thoughts on those, or give us your favorite bets. Comments or the chat is always open. What's up, Will? And Big Chief Ramos said Loughy's going to go into hibernation now. Not true. I'm actually going to be doing NBA videos. I'm back, baby. I started all of this journey doing NBA back in the day.
Now you're back.
Now we're back. So we'll do a little NBA video once a day, Monday through Friday, because that new tool we have is on an absolute ridiculous heater right now. And I figure, why not share the wealth? We'll talk about that. But I got to tell you, man, everyone I've talked to, I've been around like my kids' parents lately and my hockey team and all these guys, all my buddies that I'm talking to. I went out to dinner with some of them last night. All of them are saying, man, I couldn't be less interested in this game. And you can check my picket, Scott. I couldn't be less interested in this game. And I see it differently. Like, these are always the games that kind of jump off the page as underwhelming and then end up being great. You know, you're coming off a massive blowout last year with the Eagles when they were dogs, slight dogs. I would not be, and I bet the Patriots as 4.5-point dogs already. So I think this is a decent enough spot for the Patriots. I think they're getting a little bit, I think they're getting undercredited because they've had a relatively soft schedule. But in those easy games against bad teams, they shit on them. Like, they weren't even competitive games. So I'm not convinced this is just like, oh, Seahawks route. Not even close.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, this is how we planned it, Scott. I bet the Seahawks. So the show is going to win no matter what. Easy game.
Oh, you did?
I did. So I was, when this started, and this is why 2 weeks is wild, right after the games, I was like, I'm more leaning taking the points. I think it's just a little too much. Then I settled in and I just thought to myself, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm going to go with the known commodity. I know that Seattle's good. I think there's a chance that New England is just as good. I also think there's a chance that New England, not their fault, they just benefited from some pretty good runouts, particularly in the playoffs. They played a hobbled Chargers team. They played the Texans in nasty weather, and Stroud gave the game away. They played Stidham in the snow, and they handled elite defenses. There's no doubt about that. Seattle's another elite defense. The difference is Seattle's going to score. I am positive that Seattle will put on pressure for New England's defense that they have not seen really so far this postseason. It's a fascinating game, though, on a lot of levels. I don't think it brings the juice of, like, you know, Bills and some of these storylines that would build themselves. But the game itself is, what more could you ask for?
Is Sam Darnold a known commodity? At
That's
this
a fair
point,
point.
would you say the answer is yes, he is?
He's answering. I mean, the recency bias of myself is so crazy because it's like everyone in the playoffs is like, well, if Darnold throws 6 picks, they're going to lose. And now it's like, you don't have to worry about Darnold. This guy's amazing. You know, how quickly it can change. He's on such a run, though. It just feels like all he has to do is really just not keep it steady. I don't want to say he's Trent Dilfer or anything, but he has the advantages more than Drake May needs to probably win the game, I would say, if the Patriots win.
I can see it. I mean, look, I have no argument that somebody like Sam Darnold has proven himself far more than he did in years past. But I also have a lot of respect for that New England defense, particularly the defensive line. And there were times, if you go and look at the wild card round, and granted, the whole LA Chargers offensive line was just banged up all season long. But they were saying that like they didn't even know what the Patriots defense was doing, Ben. So I do think there's an argument to be made here that this defense is able to keep them in the game. Now, I want to get into some long shots here. I posted one last week. This was actually a little while ago. Posted it on Tails, threw it up on Twitter as well. But it was Trevion Henderson, most rushing yards. And of course, many people in this game, or when they saw this, thought that's insane. And I get it. It's 20-1 now. I got it at 50-1. I think this is the type of spot, however, that we don't actually know what's going on with Henderson, which is why I sprinkled some alt overs on Henderson across the board for today. Not because I think that he is going to go nuclear, and I'm not laddering these, and I don't even want the standard props because he might have a similar role to what he had last game in the championship round. But that was also a bad weather game. They leaned on Ramondre Stevenson. They couldn't throw the ball. It was against a good defense. The 2 previous weeks, touches were 27-21, Stevenson to Henderson. So I think when you're talking about a game where all of these lines are so efficient, there's no doubt to me that if you can find these little uncertainties, like the ambiguity in some of these roles, which I think still exist in the Patriots backfield, Trevion Henderson to me is a guy that you could look at today as long as you play it right.
Zoom in on that ticket for me. I'm reading it. And oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think you know how I feel about Trevion as well. If you're talking about a guy, you know, there's a couple boosts. We'll talk about king of the end zone, things like that. I think he's a real candidate for those type of things. The floor is legitimately like 3 touches, a non-factor. But I still think there's a very real chance that the Broncos game was so obscure in terms of what actually happened in the second half that it's not indicative of anything. And if you remove that data point from the equation, and I know when you start removing data points, you can start biasing yourself. I think it tells a different story, and the books do not have him priced in for a legitimate second, complimentary back to Stevenson. They have him priced in as like, I'm Christian McCaffrey and you're Brian Robinson, like an afterthought of the offense. And I'm not sure that that's actually the case.
And we're going to find out. But I think these are spots where you want to kick the tires. You know what I mean? Like Henderson has an 18.5-yard rushing prop. Stevenson's at 48.5 yards today. It's a big difference.
Yeah. I mean, also, clearly, if you think, and you do, that the Patriots are playing in a very competitive game, potentially playing from ahead at some points, now you're just talking about cumulative rushing attempts for the team, which could be elevated, and that's going to help everyone. The other wrinkle, Drake May is going to be mobile, but is he going to, again, lead the team in rushing? I would say no. I don't think that that's going to happen as often as it's been happening. So if that's marginalized, does that put even more pressure on the backfield?
Do you have any long shots worth talking about here?
I mean, it's perfect timing for Kale. Said, who did you guys take for the FanDuel jackpot, which is just first and last score? Mine is up on Tails. I took Austin Hooper which is a real long shot. But again, keep in mind for people unfamiliar, you're talking about a pool that's broken up about amongst the winners. So if you take JSN and you win, that's great, but you're going to be chopping up $3 million with like 1 million people. Legitimately, it could be. Austin Hooper can catch a red zone pass. He's 7-1 for an anytime touchdown. He's on the field. I don't hate it. I mean, there's obviously more prime targets, but when I went down the board, he was about as low as I could go of people that I think have a even remotely realistic shot. You know, you could take a guy who's like non-playable, but that's just stupid in my opinion.
I agree. I will say this much though, because I like that. And you know, both of us, whenever we play these,
you should go for it.
What's that?
Like you gotta, to me, the way to play is go for it. Don't win and get $30 in bonus bets. Go for it and try to get $5,000, $2,000, and that happens. You see some of these.
I haven't hit one of these yet. I have hit several of the King of the End Zones, all within the past like month or two. And the crazy thing is, should have been 3 because I thought we had. Matthew Golden. I thought we had. I mean, we did have it until the final 2 minutes of the game, but he was plus 650. And you know, when you bet these type, I'll explain something to you guys, right? Whenever you're betting on these, you want the casual on Twitter to be like, hey, what are you, a moron? Right?
Yep.
Like, a lot of times you want, because when I had Golden, like this guy doesn't have a touchdown all year long. And in my opinion, I was like, well, that's why I want Golden, because he hasn't scored all year long. Right? You know what I mean? No one's going to want Matthew Golden or, you know, these other spots. I did go a little bit more conservative for this. And I usually never do this, but here's what I did. I took Rashid Shaheed and I used him for both King of the End Zone and for the $6 million jackpot. So that's a $10 million prize pool. Granted, the $6 million is chopped almost certainly unless he gets both, unless one of these guys gets both of them. But the idea that he could have like a kickoff return for a touchdown, which also counts as the longest touchdown, to me was appealing. I never do that. Usually I'm never south of 6-7-1, but I thought it would be a little bit of fun to have it all riding on the same guy going into a game like this, knowing that this guy returns both kicks and punts and has been largely dominant with 3 or 4 kick return touchdowns in the past 7 games.
It's been fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I would venture to say he'll be a lot more popular on DraftKings than he will on FanDuel.
Without question. Because it's longest touchdown. Yes.
Exactly. And when you think longest touchdown, I literally think of Shaheed.
I would usually never do this. I get it. I mean, I think if you're looking for other spots to do it, Kayshon Boutte, but I think Kayshon Boutte is going to be I don't think he's actually going to be nearly as sneaky as we might be talking about here, because this is a guy who's, if you just go and be like, who gets the long touchdowns in this game between these teams? Well, Kayshon Boutte, as Bet Baba over on Tails pointed out, he has multiple games of long touchdowns. Multiple. Where was it? He just had one up here. I'll have to find it. But
there are so many. The board is like, if you want the bets, by the way, when we organize it, we have the trending topic up. There are bets literally just popping in real time. Like it's ridiculous. The little notification thing on my iPad is just, it sounds like it's nonstop notifications right now. It's sick.
Here you go. Touchdowns.
Yeah, look at that.
42, 39, 39.
All against Stingley somehow.
Yeah, this guy that was insane. This guy can score long touchdowns. I like it. I don't think it's going to be that contrarian. Like, I think it's a good bet, but it's not to me a $2,000-$3,000 winner, right? And I understand I didn't do that either. Are there any guys out there for King of the End Zone? Because first touchdown's different. You're not taking Austin Hooper for King of the End Zone, you know?
So,
or are you? Because to me, he's like a first or last guy, not really someone who thinks.
I used him on FanDuel.
That's right.
FanDuel. Because he can score a touchdown from like the 1 yard line on like a kind of a fluky play. He's not catching a 60-yard touchdown.
No. DraftKings, on the other hand, King of the End Zone is the longest touchdown. Now, the thing about this that people to keep in mind is, even if the guy scores, but it's not the longest touchdown, you still get paid out. You and I have both had spots like that. You had DeMarcus Robinson the one day. I had Golden. You still get a hefty payout on those, even if you don't win and get the bonus bets. But I think there are actually a couple guys that you could target that are a little bit under the radar that people aren't going to want to get to. And my question to you is, do you think anyone looks to like George Halani, who had 4 targets last game? If he just happens to break one in the passing game, does George Halani end up? There you go. Eric just pointed that out as well. Halani is the type of guy that you could see go out there and, because he's not going to do it on the ground. He's simply not getting enough opportunities on the ground. But if you anticipate that he plays another 20, 25 snaps, or whatever it was, I think it was like 32% of snaps last week. I think he's somebody that probably flies under the radar.
Yeah, I think there's a couple guys in that range. You just have to kind of reverse engineer it. It's a lot harder. To me, the realistic targets on DraftKings are smaller than the realistic targets. Like the quarterbacks could win on FanDuel. And obviously Darnold's not going to win on DraftKings. That's impossible. I guess Drake May could, but that would be pretty crazy if he had the actual longest touchdown in the game. Tight ends similar. Like I love Barner today. You want to bet for me? I think that Barner is so undervalued. He had an awful game against the Rams. He's on the field the whole time. He is the tush push guy. And I feel like his anytime touchdown number is not factoring that in. If they get to the 1-inch line, he is going to score, not Darnold. It's just like the Ravens with Mark Andrews. So I think that Barner at plus 250 is one of my favorite. If I wasn't using Hooper, I would use Barner on FanDuel.
Okay, but not on DraftKings.
On DraftKings, I think you have to take, like, to me, a wild shot would be like Matt Collins. He's on the Patriots, which are going to be lower owned in general. He catches, like, if he has 2 or 3 receptions, he's probably got some long ones in there. And people are not going to think of him. If they go to the Patriots, I would assume they'll go to Stevenson, they'll go to Booty, they'll go to even Diggs before him. And most people will pick a Seattle player, rightfully so.
I've seen this one pop up a lot, and Terry Potter mentioned it in chat, the Arroyo for touchdown. By the way, if you guys don't mind, take a second, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. If you're just stumbling across this now, all football season long, we have content, baseball, basketball, you name it, all of it right here on the Odd Shopper channel. And all of these bets for free over at Tails. Just create a free account. That's it. Like Ben said, with the trending topics, we even have Olympic bets. Hottest experts right now, the people that are crushing Super Bowl touchdowns. You can do that, or go to the people you're following. Like you have myself up here, Ben, all of these guys. Create a list of people who you want to follow and all of their picks curated right here. Plus, you can go into their profile and you can customize notifications for each one of these experts. So if you don't want to get flooded, but you just want them from a few people, that's the way to do it. So download the Tails app or just go to tails.bet with the link in the description. Make sure, not just for the Super Bowl, but I mean, through the rest of the winter, the spring, the summer, until we get back to football. People like myself, I rely on tools, and other people in NBA. I can bottom up it if I want, but it is a super time-consuming process, and I don't have time for that anymore. So
someone,
yeah,
just mentioned that.
Like,
anyone like in the Celtics game? I have that boost. I went right to Tails. Literally, just search for those teams. You will get the plays. And the thing you didn't mention, Loughy, any bet, you scroll down, it says tail. You can tail it right there, right in the app. It's going to take the bet for you. It's preloaded, and you're in business. So that is my favorite part about it. I can scroll and tail in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I have a Derek White prop already up there. But yep, exactly.
Man of the people.
So yeah, you want to tail all of these, find the best odds on whatever book. Without question, this is the best place to come find bets, tail. And if you wanted to post your own bets, you can do that here as well. You just got to set that up. But yeah, it's all free accounts and all that good stuff. Anyway, what's that?
I wanted to get this, Ricky. I don't have Bet365. You do. It may be a state-by-state thing with that bet. Maybe it's not up anymore. You pulled the market because you're too popular.
Did move it from like 50 to 1 to 20 to 1. It's a lot of these are in weird spots. Like DraftKings tries to get you. If you go on DraftKings and look at their markets, they have rushing props and then they have rushing yards over under completely separate. That's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
The king of the end zone, you just go into your boosts. You'll see it there. You accept it if it's eligible in your state, and you're in business. Pick a guy, apply the boost. Simple as that. Not a dumb question at all.
Yeah, opt into it. That's it.
Yep,
The question, Arroyo for touchdown, maybe even first. So he was activated off of the IR in the championship game, and he was a coach's decision inactive. I do think there's something there. Like if you wanted to get wildly insane, although Terry, I will say I've seen a lot of people mention Arroyo for this, both on Twitter and in our DFS shows. If he's active, Arroyo is the type of guy that could get a singular deep shot. And we've seen it before. Like we've seen Darnold throw downfield to him at times. He's a talented young rookie. I don't know how much they trust him in the Super Bowl, especially given that he hasn't been on the field in like 2 calendar months. But if you wanted to take a wild shot and you're okay just accepting that the $5 probably is not returned to you, then yeah, Arroyo's interesting. But I don't know how often he's going to get on the field, Ben.
No. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the extremes. The other extreme, and I know I'm talking out of both sides kind of in terms of scenarios, there is a chance that the game is crazy low scoring, like 13-7 or something, where there's only one touchdown. In that case, if you think that, you could take someone that's not going to score a long touchdown and hope that he literally is the only touchdown in the game. And if you're right, because everyone's thinking, man, I got to get a 40-yard touchdown here. A guy like Hunter Henry, someone like that, who's probably, if he scores, going to catch more of a red zone target. There is a chance that it is the only touchdown in the game.
I mean, you're taking it to the extremes. It could be 2 or 3 touchdowns and 12 yards could still be the long. Like, you could have a goal line punch in from Kenneth Walker and like a Drake May rush from 5 yards and your longest touchdown's 12 yards. That's absolutely not out of the question at all.
Yep. So that's just one other wrinkle to it. 20-16 Seahawks win. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. I think it will play pretty close to the spread, to be honest. If there's a blowout, I think most people would agree. If there's a crushing blowout, I would assume that the Seahawks are winning.
Probably, yeah. Now, if you go 2016, then Pats cover, and that's
true. I'll be hooked, and I'll be complaining.
Yeah, you will be. You got it's still at 4.5, right? Like I don't think it's moved off of 4.5 since it came out.
No, nope.
All right, let's build out a parlay here. What do you say?
Yeah. Oh, let's build one. And again, you want all the bets.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'll start with one, as a matter of fact, that I like.
Go ahead.
I like Hunter Henry in this game. I think Hunter Henry, to me, looks pretty good against the Seattle team that has actually allowed top 5 production in essentially every category to wide receiver or to tight ends all season long. A lot of that isn't because they're bad against them, but it's because they're so good everywhere else. The tight ends have been targeted at the 4th highest clip against Seattle. Seattle's allowed the 4th most targets. I do believe Hunter Henry, who's been pretty quiet, bounces back in a game like this, Ben. And the idea that 38.5 is out there on FanDuel, to me, that's a spot that I'm very happy to take. I already did bet that, as a matter of fact. And if you were to just look, too, at Hunter Henry, where his number is across the industry, 38, 39s. Pinnacle's got it at 39.5. So the 38 there is the best number, unless it's on another obscure book that I don't have. I'm going to add that one into the mix here. Start us off with 38.5. Also, there's some boosts over on FanDuel. Make sure to take advantage of them if you're going to bet this.
I'm just jamming the same concept. Give me over right below. I'm on Barner's receiving yards. It's 24.5. I'm just not getting away from the spot. I really am not. I have him to score, and I really think he's live for 5 or 6 targets that are convertible today. And it's just a simple buy low. The Patriots defense, very strong. They look good across the board, but I do think that they are going to really, really look to stop JSN, as many teams do. But I honestly think that they will be allocating even more than other teams to him. And it's going to open up Cooper Kupp, but it's also going to open up Barner. And I really feel like in the right game scripts, which we're gonna get, he will be making an impact early and often. I like him. There's more DraftKings play. They have, first quarter yards. Basically, will he catch a pass in the first quarter? And I think he will.
So I posted this parlay on Tails, boosted same game parlay.
Oh, yeah.
Friday.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I got your boy Barner in there, over 2.5 receptions. Hunter Henry as well. The other one I had was Stephon Diggs, under 4.5 receptions. Tough matchup for him. Struggles against zone. Target share drops considerably in these spots. That's one that I boosted to plus 605. But now we need to add a third leg to this. So if you're going Barner, you want receiving yards on Barner, 24.5?
Sure. Yeah.
I like that. All right. So go receiving yards. And mind you guys, before you bet any of these, doesn't have to be on FanDuel, make sure to boost them too, if you can.
Yes.
Understandably, some, and me too, but like the limits on some of these boosts are trash. But some people may have healthy accounts where you can still boost it and get a good amount down. If not, like boost it and then bet it again.
Yeah, it's still good money that you're going to be. It'll still make your life that much easier.
Any other spots you want to get to? We've got a 2-leg. I want to add a third and final leg to this parlay.
So I don't want to declare this the third piece of the puzzle, but I want to ask you about this. And Chad, I want to ask you as well. I am close to betting the under on Drake May's rushing yards. I feel like that's dangerous, but I also feel like the secret is now out, and Seattle, their personnel, I know they've been at times exposed by this. I really think they're going to have a game plan for what is now like almost a focal point of New England's offense with Drake May. The number's pretty healthy. It's not like a scramble is getting him there. He needs to have, okay, let's do it then.
But you know what's funny? I like the over on rushing attempts. And I know this sounds insane.
Well, you put
what's that?
I mean, if you go with that correlation where you think he has like 2 or 3 rushes for 1 yard, you're going to get a crazy payout with reverse correlation. I think there might be
a reverse correlation play there. I honestly do.
Okay.
Where and I'm not saying add it to this, but like where Drake May rushes 8 times for like 15 yards. Against this Seattle defense, I could see it. They allow the highest scramble rate in the league for opposing quarterbacks.
That's what scares me.
But what you're saying here, and I agree, is rushing attempts do not equal rushing production against a defense like Seattle. They may flush him out of the pocket and he has to go, but they're ready for it. I actually do think that's an intriguing option. Will they let us parlay that? I assume some books might, but let's see.
I don't know if they will, but
I don't think
they do.
Nope.
We'll try the over.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I wanted. Yeah.
I still think no. Okay,
yeah.
But I do think there's going to be a lot of situations where Drake May is looking for those same scrambles, except and you'll see this man on Live Before Lock over on Stokastic in a couple hours talking about this. Seattle's defense, the way that they are constructed, they're very equipped to contain something like this.
Can any of you guys go on Bet365 real quick and check?
Plus 550 on FanDuel, apparently.
You could get that at plus 550. See, this is such fucking ridiculous. They make you look, rush attempts, rush yards over. This is terribly annoying. All right, rush attempts over. Yeah, you can plus 550.
I could get down with that.
That's a decent number, man. Tell me you couldn't see him having 7 rush attempts for 20 yards. That happens all the time with mobile quarterbacks that are
maybe you get a kneel.
Maybe you get 2 kneels.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to get crazy, parlay it with the Pats money line, because the equity you get from multiple kneel downs would be so massive for that exact prop.
Huge equity. Yeah, because you got potential there for 2-3 kneel downs.
Yeah, and maybe get one before half. Like
that's money line takes you to 10-1.
Yeah, obviously you're adding more extreme legs, but I don't hate any of this. This is why I wanted to do the show. I'm very glad we did this.
I'm going to post that to Tails. I'm going to post that as a collab.
Okay, I'm tailing that. I will be 100% tailing that. Post it, and I'm going to tail it.
Yeah, let's do it. And by the way, Springfield, appreciate you. Only
Yes.
plus 360 on 365. Surprising. Bet365 usually has some of the best odds you're going to find. However, Bet365 has a 50% super boost. Some of these bets, if you just wanted to put like $10 on this, some of these books, you might be able to take that, right? Like your reverse correlation Drake May rushing parlay and boost that 15%. Get something like north of 7-1.
Yeah, and again, this is why there's so many props out there, and that'll be posted. So anyone that wants to tail that, just go to tails, search out Loughy's name, and click tail. Totally free. Don't have to do a damn thing. And that's why we love tails. It's simple way to get your action.
Any other spots you want to hit on here?
No, I mean, I think for me, it's just there's going to be some live boosts and their live betting opportunities. I would say just don't overreact. I think most people think it's going to be a sluggish start. If it's like 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, I'm betting the over. Because it's really going to triple the number. And I don't think that that's overly indicative that it has to play out like that. I could see this being 0-0 end of the first and then 10-7, 13-10 at halftime, and it gets going.
Just Fred, nice. Appreciate you, dude, for pointing this out. Caesars never offers like pregame boost. You ever notice that? Very rarely do they give quality pregame boost. 60% live boost, and that's because we know that live betting, it's easier for the books to have nice success. But a 60% live boost there, I'd be curious to see what the limits. I can't bet on Caesars anymore.
Neither can I.
But if you can, that would be a great spot to say, all right, if this game plays out like the way, Ben, you're saying right now, maybe that's a spot you look. You go, all right, well, because all of these books are going to offer live Super Bowl boosts. No doubt.
Or even like anytime touchdown scores. Obviously, of course, you lose some equity in the time. But like if JSN's number turns from -105 to, plus 180, and it's the first quarter, like you're going to be able to boost him to, 2.5 to 1, and you haven't lost that much. Like I will look to do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Or cross-sport parlays. That's another way. You mentioned some NBA stuff you already took. There's a lot out there. And so you can mix and match. If you have a play from another sport that you like, roll it into your Super Bowl parlays.
Yeah, man. By the way, I know football's almost over. It's been an awesome season. I appreciate all you guys who have come out and watched the shows that I do the videos every single week. Everything that Ben puts out, be it here or on Tails, on Twitter, not going anywhere. Basketball season's in full swing, and we just released a new prop tool. I'm telling you, man, like I'm just going in there and finding spots I like. I even told you, like, I'm just getting back up to speed with the NBA.
Yep.
And I started using it literally 4 days ago. This is my prop tool. These are my prop tool results on a limited FanDuel account, where I'm betting I can get $50 per bet in 4 days, 17% ROI, almost 1,000 in profit just on this tool. If you guys want to check it out, the link down below. Today's the last day to do it. First week is $1, a single dollar. That'll auto load the promo code in for you. It's over on our Stokastic side, our DFS side. If you're wondering why, it's because this is a blended model with projections and with market based. I actually have mine right now, 80-20 blend projections, because I trust our data team that much. Truly, they're on top of this. They're projecting guys out when the books are projecting them in, and they end up being out, and you're getting massive closing line value. I'm talking like I had 30% closing line value on Kings and Portland players yesterday. Just insane stuff. I'm loving this tool. It's super simple to use. And if you want, you can go in and you can adjust the rates yourself. So if you wanted to go in and adjust rates on players and the minutes, and you actually, ball, well, guess what? You can click into these games, man. You can click into these games, and you can now go in and adjust the rates. You can edit rates and all of that stuff, and then it'll show you where all of the best betting opportunities are. Or you can just grab your books, pull the best bets you want, add them to your bet slip. They add directly into your bet slip. I can't say enough about it. Maybe it's my results recently, but when I see the closing line value, I know that this is not a fluke.
I mean, this is we don't have. You're going to be doing content around this every day. When you have the ability to go off projections like this, projections that are industry standard, we use these for DFS. The books cannot defend against something like this. Actually, and you see people already tailing you on tails. I think Lee just mentioned this kind of unintentionally. If Quickly doesn't play, she'd over assist if you can cash it out, take it out. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about. When our projections are able to anticipate some of these things in the NBA, and you're getting in spots that the books are just not able to react to because we're already doing this type of stuff. And you can blend it. Like I said, you want to go market efficiency, sure, go the other direction. But I also have been using the tool, and I'm leaning more on our projections.
Me too.
Because those are built by people that are knowing the rotations, that know the insides and out of these teams. And now, I mean, that is, if I could bet one specific way, if I had all the tools at my disposal, the way I would bet would be that, which is just straight out projecting the books.
Yeah. And yes, Daniel, it does account for that stuff because it's
Jazz. Why am I Jazz catching a stray?
But it's humans who are behind the controls here.
Yes.
Updating these projections. Are they going to be 100%? No, there's times where coaches are going to do wild stuff, but it puts you in a good position. It's $1 for a week. The link's down there. Just check it out for $1, literally $1 for the week, and get some bets in. I think you'll love this tool. I'm loving it, and so are you. And I'm loving the results. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Enjoy the game. If you have any other questions, come hit us up in the comments over on Tails. Find us there. Links down there. Find us on Twitter, whatever it may be. We're always open to shoot the shit, talk these games, whether it's football, baseball, basketball. Ben bets some crazy obscure stuff.
PGA, baby. I got a big PGA sweat today. I put out 2 outrights on Tails, 2 outrights, and they are first and second in this tournament.
Are they?
Yeah, we have a real sweat on our hands.
Shit, okay.
So,
awesome.
I don't know if it'll hold, but I really.
We're heading over to Stokastic, our original channel, the parent channel. We're going to talk some DFS. Greg's live right now. Ben and I go live in 22 minutes to break down the DFS slate. $1 million top prize over on DraftKings to close out the season. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's been real.
Oh yeah. We'll see everyone over there on Stokastic, and more importantly, we'll see everyone over on Tails, tailing bets, having fun, and most importantly, making some money. So see you guys soon.